Proverbs 13 sets up a lot. A wise child accepts a parent's discipline, but a scoffer won't even listen to correction. There's a twin path this chapter keeps coming back to. It's teachable versus unteachable. And what's wild about Proverbs 13 is how ordinary the categories are. It's not talking about huge dramatic failures at all. It's talking about how you talk, about how you handle money, whether you're patient enough to wait for something good instead of grabbing at the shortcut. Whether they're small stuff or daily stuff, according to this chapter, there's exactly what this difference between a wise life and a foolish life actually gets, made from one decision at a time. So today we're talking through Proverbs 13 in 5 parts: words, money, character, correction, and patience. Let's get into it. This is Proverbs for Modern Life. I'm William Tarbush. Verse 2 talks about the fruits of your words can nourish you or trap you. Verse 3, guarding your mouth guards your life. A careless mouth brings ruin. Verse 13, a little bit away, but says, despising instruction in the word invites trouble. Respecting it brings reward. The way you use words can affect job interviews and aren't simply social. Don't badmouth your old boss just because you're interviewing with a new one. Be careful when gossiping because others will know you as a gossip, even when you're gossiping or complaining right in front of you. Verses 4, the lazy person craves but gets nothing, the diligent are satisfied. Verse 7, some who act rich have nothing, some who act poor have great wealth. The contrast of appearance versus reality here. Verse 11, wealth gained hastily dwindles. Wealth gathered gradually grows. Verse 22 and 23, the good leave an inheritance. A poor man's field can yield much through hard work, but injustice sweeps it away. So the verses above appear to promise teachability, honor, and not wealth. Wealth is seen as in the one who doesn't dress like they're worth $1 million. Look at Steve Jobs and his limited wardrobe of a turtleneck and jeans. And then we talk about segment 3, righteous versus wicked. Verses 5 and 6, the righteous hate falsehood. Righteousness guards the blameless, wickedness overthrows the sinners. Verses 9 and 10, the light of the righteous shines. Pride breeds conflict, humility takes advice. Verses 21, adversity pursues sinners, prosperity towards the righteous. Verses 25, the righteous eat to their satisfaction, the wicked go hungry. So set up a personal code, but back it with the code of the Bible. If you do so, you'll find yourself satisfied, and the payoff will show in your character. Most personal codes are backed up in the Christian ethic. Even non-believers share the same views about a great many harms to people and what that means. Verse 18, ignoring correction leads to poverty and shame. Heeding it brings honor. Verse 24, the one who spares the rod hates their child. The one who loves them disciplines diligently. Proverbs 13 has a lot to say about how we respond to correction. Verse 18 makes a pretty amazing claim. If you ignore correction, you're heading towards poverty and shame, but if you actually listen when someone points out you're doing wrong, that leads to honor, not humiliation, but honor. That's counterintuitive, right? We tend to think being corrected is the embarrassing part, but Proverbs flips that. The embarrassing part is refusing to change. Then there's verse 24. Probably the most quoted and most misunderstood verse in the chapter. It says the parent who withholds discipline actually doesn't love their child. The parent who loves them gently corrects them and does it diligently but not lazily. Now, I want you to be careful here because this verse gets used to justify a lot of things. The core point isn't discipline harder. It's that avoiding correction and letting your child run wild isn't kindness. It's neglect wearing a kindness costume. Real love pays attention long enough to correct. And honestly, the principle just doesn't apply to parenting. Think about mentors, friends, or even the input you get at work. If you build a life where nobody's allowed to correct you, that's not freedom. According to this chapter, that's actually where poverty and shame come from. In segment 5, hope deferred and desire fulfilled. Verse 12, hope delayed makes the heart sick. The desire fulfilled is the tree of life. Verse 19, a desire desire is sweet to the soul. Fools hate to run from evil. Now let's shift to something a little bit more emotional, verses 12 and 19. Verse 12 says something almost everyone's felt. When hope gets delayed, when you're still waiting on the thing you've been praying for and working for or hoping for, it makes your heart sick. That's not weakness, that's just how waiting feels. Scripture names it plainly. But then it says the flip side. When a desire is finally fulfilled, it's like the tree of life. It's not just relief, it's life-giving. Verse 19 basically repeats the first half. It's satisfied desire is sweet to the soul. Then it adds a warning that fools hate to turn away from evil. In other words, some people never get to the fulfilled desire feeling because they keep choosing the thing that guarantees they won't get there. So here's a connection back to segment 2. If you remember the money and patience section, it's the same principle just aimed at your heart instead of your wallet. Delayed hope hurts, but it's not a sign that something's wrong with you. It's a sign that you're human. And Proverbs 13 doesn't shame you for feeling that ache. It just tells you what to do with it. Keep turning away from the shortcut and stay someone who can actually receive a good thing when it finally comes. So closing, we've covered a lot. Words that nourish you or trap you. Wealth is slow or wealth that's fast. The quiet contrast between righteous and wicked, what a real correction looks like, and the ache of waiting for someone you want. Someone or something you want. But if you zoom out, it all comes back to verse 1. Are you someone who can be corrected? Or are you someone who's already decided that you have it figured out? Here's what I challenge you to do. Don't try to apply all 5 of these at once. Pick one instead. Maybe it's watching your words this week. Or maybe it's being more patient. Or maybe it's letting someone correct you instead of getting defensive. Just pick one and let Proverbs 13 do its work in that area. You can add others later. I'd love to hear which verse hit you the hardest. Drop it in the comments. If this was helpful, subscribe and I'll see you in the next one. This is Proverbs for Modern Life. I'm William Tarbush.